the only author to win the Seamus, Nero, and Lefty Awards, 3 of crime fiction's most prestigious prizes, and known for his Carter Ross mysteries. Today is a big day for our next guest. It's the day Virginia-based author Brad Park's latest novel, Closer Than You Know, is released. And Brad is here with us today. Good to see you.
It's great to be here this morning, Cheryl.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This is what, your 8th novel?
This is my 8th novel.
That's amazing.
How time flies.
Yes,
I know.
it does. And the nice thing about this is it's a standalone. So these are new characters for you. And you created 2 very strong female characters for this book.
Right. So the first is Melanie Barrick. She is a young working mother who comes home from work one day to pick up her son at childcare, only to learn he has been taken away by social services and no one will tell her why. And then we have Amy Kay, who is the dogged prosecutor who has been working on an unsolved series of rapes that have terrorized the Shenandoah Valley. And nobody else wants her to work on this case, but she keeps at it. And yet somehow these 2 strong characters will start off in opposition, but eventually end up working together.
And I have to say, it's a page turner. I read it last night. It took me a couple of hours, so it's a quick read, which is a nice thing. Where did the idea for this story come from? I know a lot of times they're ripped from the headlines.
Right. So I was an upper middle class white kid, right? Grew up in the suburbs. I had no real experience with social services, which is really, you know, the world in which this book is set. And then I became a reporter in a poor city, Newark, New Jersey, where social services was an enormous presence in the lives of families. And what really I took away from that was, no matter where you live, there is a government agency that has the authority to take your children from you. And what if that power were abused? And that's the what if that drives this thriller, Closer Than You Know.
And it really is a roller coaster ride, because once you think it's going in one direction, it takes a quick turn and then a dive and then it comes back up. I mean, it really is.
I always say that readers love to be wrong. So my goal is to make you wrong all the time, Cheryl.
Well, that's not too hard, Brad, if you think about it. Today's newspaper had something very special for you in the newsletter. I want to show this, a full-page ad taken out by Hardee's. Explain why Hardee's took out a full-page ad for you.
I write all my novels in a Hardee's restaurant. I have for years now, and the newsleader wrote a story about this, and Hardee's corporate somehow tripped across this and decided to take out this beautiful, beautiful full-page ad
it says,
announcing the book.
We just want to say how fired up we are for Brad and thrilled that he chose to find inspiration at Hardee's. An author will tell you that writing novels is a hard work. Brad, as far as we can tell, you're just getting started. We hope to be a part of your adventure for many books to come. That's pretty awesome.
It was a beautiful thing. I was really tickled that they wrote it.
And you do write at Hardee's, and I noticed that you said thank you to Melanie Barrick at Hardee's.
Right.
That's your main character's name in this book. What's the connection between the 2?
So Melanie Barrick is also the breakfast manager at the Stanton Hardee's where I write. But let's be clear, the things I do to character Melanie Barrick, I would never do to poor breakfast manager Melanie Barrick. I don't hate her that much.
But I'm sure she's surprised and pleased that the main character in your new book is named after her.
Oh, she's delighted. Yeah, I gave her a copy last week. And, you know, when you see your own name blown up big, you know, because right inside the opening cover, disaster, Melanie Barrick was once told, is always closer than you know. If you can imagine that being your name, that's fun.
That is fun. And I love a book where you throw the title in like right away, because I'm always looking to see where the title comes in a book or a movie, and that's kind of cool.
Well, and that's Melanie Barrick herself grew up in foster care. And so one of her foster sisters once told her, when you're in foster care, disaster is always closer than you know. And that's the inspiration for the title.
So not only is the book entertaining, but it's also informational, because I did learn a lot about the whole social services issue. What was your research like to get that done?
So I talked with a lot of social workers, and I also hung out in court. Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court in Virginia is a fascinating place, and it can be a tough place to hang out, because I mean, some of these cases are really gripping. But it was really just talking with people and listening and trying to honor their stories, because there are times when the social worker will seem like the bad guy in this novel, but when you think about it, the social worker in this novel is the person who is looking out for the best interest of the child. So I'd like to think that any social worker who reads this novel will say, yes, that's exactly what I would have done in this situation.
I like that. You spent 20 years working as a journalist and then decided to try your hand at writing novels. This is your 8th novel now. You're successful. Are you glad you made that decision?
You know, I am tickled every day that I get to make stuff up for a living. Should I pretend it's hard? And it can be hard on certain days, but there are a lot of days when I wake up and I am so excited to get to work, and that's a blessing to have.
And to get to Hardee's, right?
And to get to Hardee's. I mean, free refills on Coke Zero. Can you get any better than that? I don't think so.
I don't think so. And you probably get a lot of inspiration, too, from people who come in, a lot of people watching in there.
So there actually is a character in here that I based on a guy. So Mr. Honeywell, who, for the record, I named after my thermostat.
I wondered about that.
Is this sad sack lawyer character who actually ends up being a very important character in the novel. I don't want to give away too much here, but he was based on a guy I just watched walking in someday, kind of had these bags under his eyes, his belly hanging over his belt, just stains on his clothes, and I thought, that looks like a ham and egg lawyer. That's going to be Melanie Barrick's lawyer. And he ends up being one of the real heroes of the book.
That's the character. The book is called Closer Than You Know. Brad, thank you so much.
Great to be here, Cheryl.
Congratulations. Next time you come, you can sing for us.
All right, sounds good.
Brad Park's latest novel, Closer Than You Know, is available now. He has 2 signings, one tonight at Bedlam Brewing with Friends of the Library in Stanton at 7, and he'll be at One More Page in Arlington on Wednesday, March 21st. So check him out.